Hiya there. Let's look at the last Universal Energy Astrology times AFL rabbit hole for the season. We have got Collingwood up against Brisbane tomorrow at 2:30. So let's take a look at the energy of tomorrow. So because of the energy around tonight, tomorrow morning, waking up, the energy will be very impulsive and very impatient, which, I mean, the players will already be in that mode, I'm sure, as they have been waiting to get to the game. So there is also some aspects around of the negative kind in relation to a sort of self-punishment energy. So overthinking and over-judging ourselves for perceived failures or wrongdoings. So things where we have disappointed ourselves. And this will make us in a kind of moody and sensitive energy. Then there is an activation with that energy of shame and guilt around how our ego is projected, and that could negatively affect self-confidence. So those aspects definitely will have an impact on the players. Then at around 6:30, so after the game, so this energy will start showing up about halfway through. There's an energy of being impatient, and it's the impatience that comes with not carrying something out correctly because you get yourself into a place of ego where you think this is good enough, I know what I'm doing. And it brings with it like a sharp tongue fighting spirit energy. And because it involves a Virgo planet, it is very much criticism, which could be directed at self as much as it could be directed at others, with that moon also being in Aries. So it's sort of a fight initiation energy without thought of the consequences. And being that we are in Libra season, it's sort of the way that we will be trying to avoid conflict in the search for balance. We will then get frustrated, and having been pushed into this uncomfortable emotional state, we get the sharp tongue and the fighting spirit. And with that Aries supermoon energy really pushing us forward, it could be quite an electric energy. Later on Saturday night, there is aspects bringing in that excited energy, but also that belligerent and kind of hasty decision-making energy as well. So any kind of friction in relationships is kind of going to step up into fight weather and moodiness. So looking at the two teams, Collingwood has the overall energy of Aquarius. And Aquarius energy is a fixed air sign, and it's the energy of I know energy. And it's very good at disconnecting from emotions. So the moody, sensitive vibes that are going to be in the air will have little effect on the overall energy of the Aquarius team if it is able to step back away from it. And they will be able to tap into the other part of the Aquarius energy, which is the kind of a love me or don't energy. And it's like that idea that the self-acceptance in an Aquarius energy understands that people might misunderstand it and its purpose. And so when often affected by this energy of people coming in and hating them, perhaps that vibe that they might be feeling from the Brisbane fans, they are quite able, the Aquarius energy is very able to sort of step back from that and go, oh, well, you love me or you don't, but I'm still going to do what I do. And with the presence of Uranus being around, so Uranus is making a number of aspects tonight and also tomorrow, and Aquarius is the energy ruled by Uranus, and Uranus brings in explosive change, and it's kind of the energy of being able to adapt very quickly. So this will also give Collingwood the ability to tap into that Uranus energy that the overall team embodies, and it will make them quite adaptable to any energies presented to them. So with this early evening aspect starting to roll through this energy, bringing in like a kind of fiery response and an ego kind of impatience, this is going to affect both sides in a similar way. Neither energies likes to have their ego challenged. So Aquarius fixed air I know energy for Collingwood, and Libra I balance cardinal air, both air signs. They will respond to this energy in similar ways. However, the Aquarius energy will kind of hold on to a challenged ego confidently, and it just kind of assumes that everybody else is wrong once it gets into that place. Whereas the Libra energy does tend to have a little bit more of a negative effect if it sees the criticism as an attack on its energy, and that can turn it inwards, which if that Libra energy turns that criticism to self-criticism, that could be very distracting for the Brisbane energy. So Libra also being an energy that likes to avoid conflict, it likes to do things its own way. And Aquarius also likes to do things its own way, but is more adaptable to change. So the power of this crowd energy, as we know, is likely to be with Collingwood. And this is also another energy that will weaken the overall Libra vibe because it is very empowered by external validation. So looking at the teams in a little bit more detail, the Collingwood team has a number of fire signs across its players. And so these signs are not only being activated by this full supermoon in fiery Aries, but it also is making aspects with Uranus. And so that's fiery, unexpected changes. And Aquarius energy loves that. It's very, very comfortable there and very adaptable. And Aquarius answering to Uranus, and Uranus being in Taurus, which will only increase the stubbornness of this Aquarius energy for the Collingwood team, making them very team driven. So Brisbane have the sun on their side, okay? So the sun is in Libra. We are in Libra season, and they have the sun on their side, as well as the ruler of Libra being Venus, and Venus is in Leo, which is another sun sign. So that means that that is also answering to the sun, and the sun is in Libra. So it's like a circle of power kind of with these things answering to each other, just really empowering and embodying that Libra energy. So the balance that Libra embodies will do very well with finding a way to balance out these extreme emotional, moody energies that the moon is bringing with its Aries full moon vibes. So Libra and Venus is also, it can get quite into a vindictive and vengeful energy. And Libra being the opposition sign of Aries, so Sun in Libra, Moon in Aries, they are also in opposition. When that Libra energy is pushed from its comfort zone, or it is challenged, its ego is challenged, this can really bring out a type of retribution energy. So being that the Aquarius energy, so the overall Collingwood team energy, is quite a rebellious energy, and if it pushes up on that Brisbane Libra energy who's got the sun shining on it, it is likely to bring out this more vengeful, we want to win zone, which again is just going to be empowered by the sun and this circular motion that the energies are creating, where the sun is in Libra, Libra answers to Venus, Venus is in Leo who answers to the sun, and around it goes. I also find it very interesting that both of these teams are somewhat fighting a curse energy, and that Collingwood are in that mindset of not having won a grand final in September, whereas Brisbane are in that mindset of not having won a game at the MCG. So which curse will prevail, I guess, is the question we can all ask ourselves. And because of that, there's that energy on Saturday morning that will increase any belief that the players and the supporters hold in this curse, because it's that energy of self-blame And in relation to sports, it's kind of that energy of self-blame, having not followed the ritual. You know, the people who say, I always wear these socks, I always do this, I didn't cut my hair. It's the people who haven't followed those rituals that then fall into that self-blame mindset. So with this energy increasing in the collective and it potentially being increased within the teams, it again is bringing up this collective power of who's going to be holding on to this curse vibe the most. So the aspect that is happening at 10 a.m. to cause this is happening in the Leo parts of our charts. And like I was just saying, Leo being in Venus and Venus being the ruler of Libra, that could potentially mean that the overall energy of the team will be hearing their curse vibes louder than the Collingwood team, who could just fall into that love us or don't, we're doing it, whatever, disconnected from emotion vibe. So all in all, the energy is very supportive of quite a fiery and aggressive battle. And I know it's the grand final and that tends to be the energy that's coming across anyway. But an Aries full moon will really push that forward. So can a magpie stay out of a lion's mouth, really? And so in a lot of ways, there's a lot of polarities going on here. It's moon energy fighting a team that is being empowered by the sun. It is like the darkness of the moon and the lightness of the sun fighting each other. It's the rebel energy versus the judge and justice energy. And I think Brisbane, having just come off Lachie Neale's Brownlow win, and the way that the Libra energy loves to be praised and loves that external validation, I think they're going to have that power on their side as well. And I think with the circular motion of how the energy is supporting them, plus this extra ego shift, it's going to be very, very interesting if that will be enough to break this curse mentality of not being able to win at the MCG. So in a little bit more detail, the Aries moon that is happening being a super full moon is quite powerful. And Aries is the ruler of head and teeth and tongue and arteries. And I just think that is a very risky moon to be playing such an aggressive sport at an aggressive place in the timeline of it being the grand final. And with that kind of all-in mentality, I think we are going to see some fire on the grounds, more than we would be seeing normally if the moon was in a softer sign like Cancer or something along those lines. So then looking at Libra, so where the sun is positioned and the overall energy of the Brisbane team. This is the ruler of the kidneys and the urinary system, as well as our veins and skin. Again, quite dangerous weather for all-round aggression and people going over the top with alcohol and moodiness. So with the late night aspects happening after these games, there is a risk of overspending and there is a risk of fight energy inside of relationships that already hold a lot of friction. So being that we're in a grand final and we are looking at a Queensland team, at a Victorian team, we are looking at controversial Collingwood, who most people don't really like to support, I think we can safely say there is friction in the relationship between the players, between the supporters, between the states. And so I think everybody going, everybody watching, everybody out in the city tonight, be safe out there. This Aries moon wants us to fight, okay? Aries is the war sign. It answers to Mars, the planet of action, also in Libra, not to mention that that is also going to be empowering that fight energy on the Brisbane side. So just be kind to each other outside the game if you can, and remember there's that extra energy of moodiness. So stay safe and try and stay positive whether or not your team is on the win or the lose. I think overall the energy is with the Brisbane Lions, the circular motion, that's this whole energy around the planets, around where the sun is, where Venus is. Also the moon is somewhat answering to Libra as well. I think that the universe is offering Brisbane more positive energy to tap into, but it will come down to which team can pull their head out of this curse mentality, because the energy is very, very self-judgmental tomorrow. So can that Aquarius stubbornness, that rebellious nature of an Aquarius sign, and that want to win, that knowing that it can win, will that overpower the curse mentality running through everyone's head enough to come up against a team being empowered by a number of planets in activation right now? Who knows? If I was going to pick, I can't really go past a team being empowered by the sun and its ruling planet. The presence of Uranus, though, is going to make it very close, because Aquarius energy loves a challenge, it loves sudden change, and it's very adaptable. So be safe out there with the energy around, be kind to others, and it is the energy of manipulation. So please try and speak your truth and take everybody's words with a grain of salt. Try and stay away from overindulging in alcohol if you are someone that is prone to moodiness or issues with your kidneys. And just have a nice time. It's going to be a fiery game. I can't wait to watch it. Go sports.